Hello everybody, today I'm going to be working on the first stage of this painting. I'm going to start with skin tones, and because that's what I've mainly been asked about. I find it really hard to look because I've pulled my neck, but okay, I'm just going to explain what paints I'm using. I've got a skin tone there, some orange, some yellow ochre, titanium white and burnt sienna. And I've got a bit of, what's this stuff called again? Glazing fluid. I like to use glazing fluid just because it keeps the paints nice and wet. I don't have to keep adding water, as I'm really laughing at. And yeah, so I just get painting anyway. I wet my brush a little bit because it won't work as well with a dry brush. Just mix up some white first and I sort of add my colours to it. Got a bit of white there. Some glazing fluid, like I say, just to keep it supple. I like to add a bit of orange, which I've started to do lately. Just gets a really nice sort of base colour for me to work with. And just basically get the colours how you want. I like to get a nice big blob, because I like to work quickly. I don't have to keep worrying about what colours, how the colours turning out. What I'm going to do here as well is get a load of brown mixed up, because I'm going to use that to put some sort of shadows in and stuff. And I'd like to add a lot of glazing fluid to that, just to keep it, quite workable. Okay, so basically, I'm going to do this really rough. There's no undercoats. Normally I would do an undercoat as I go along, but for this exercise I'm just going to do it, do bits as and when. Okay, so basically the light's coming from the right hand side this way, so I want obviously the darker colours here, and then I'll paint anyway. So yeah, just nice and quick for the initial stages. Don't worry about going over any of the ink lines or anything like that. As you can see, they're showing through anyway. And the reason why I use this glazing fluid is because that will stay quite sort of wet. It won't dry very quickly like it would be if it was just water. And just add a bit of darker brown to this side. Keep working the paints. You can also put sort of a bit of shading in as you go along as well. I used to basically give the whole painting a brown wash first of all, but I've started to just do it as I go along. Just doing the skin tones, and I want it lighter this side. I'm just going to work on this piece for the moment, just to show you the process I would do. Obviously this is, I'll be working quite fast anyway, but for today's sort of video I'm going to work even quicker. See, there's obviously not enough white in there, just add a bit more white. Okay, nice and quick. As you can see, like at the bottom of the leg there, there's quite a bit of ink there, just to show me that that's what's going to be sort of the darker area. So I'm just going to add a bit of brown and sort of mix that in as I go. Okay, so as you can see, it's not too much lighter for the minute, just a slightly shade. Sort of lighter. I've never liked to keep the painting pin down either, because I like to move it about quite a bit, quite quickly. As you can see, that's still a little bit wet with the glazing fluid, so it sort of blends nicely. Just a bit sort of undercoat on that. Like I say, already starting to take shape. I'm just going to move on to the next skin bit now, sort of skin area. I've already got the paints mixed up on my plate now, so I just want to quickly get the coats in there. Like I say, don't be worried about going over for the minute. It's just the undercoats after all. Just add a bit more water. I'm just going to start introducing a bit more yellow now into the skin tone. Like I say, you start to see the contrast between the reds and the browns of the undercoat, and as I go lighter I'll add more yellow mixed with white, and all the way to the points where there's the most light hitting the flesh. I'll do pretty much just basically white, really sort of watered down. Wrist is well hurting, the paint is really quick. Start to go a little bit tighter now. There's a bit too much paint on my brush there. I'll just wipe the excess off and I can just sort of blend that in. As you can see, I've probably got very little paint now, and with the glazing fluid it's already to start to take quite a translucent sort of feel to it. It looks really white on the plate. Obviously because you've got the undercoats, it won't be as light when you paint it on top of the existing colours. As you can see, there's a bit more yellow blend in there. Don't go all the way to the edges now, leave a bit of the existing colours showing through, just to make it look a bit more 3D. Sort of blend out just about there now. Just adding a bit more glazing fluid, only a little bit, just to keep the paints nice and wet on my plate. I've just added a bit more white and yellow again. As you can see, there's quite a few, you know, I don't know what other people would do, obviously painting, but I like to do quite a few layers of skin tones, just to get a good variation in the colour. Don't worry too much about blending it to perfection for the minute. I'll do all that with a smaller brush. As you can see, all the inking I did is slowly starting to go. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit shining through. Try not to go over an area too quickly again, like I've just done here. The paint underneath is still quite wet. Probably should have started somewhere else, but it was starting to pull. You'll be able to shade it as well. Okay, so basically since we stopped the video, I've just basically gone round and with a slightly darker skin tone than the one I just used, just sort of gone around the edges again, any little detail bits that I wanted to highlight, and just sort of smoothed it out a bit, and as you can see it's already starting to take a softer sort of feel about it. And what I'm doing now is basically any black lines, obviously I don't want them showing in the painting, so I'm just going over them with the brown again over any lines, not everywhere, but just to sort of darken some bits. Okay, so now before I go to the lighter skin tones, I'm going to go pretty much all the way to white now. I like to just spray a little bit of red, just to give it a bit of variation in colour. So I'll just put a bit of it, not too much, just a slight sort of, don't worry about the blobs. Luckily that hasn't gone on the skin tone, so that's good. Oops. Yeah, I did need to do that obviously. But not to worry, any bits like that I'll fix up at a later stage. Slowly see, I mean I should be able to wipe it off here. Okay, so as you can see I've added more white again to the paint I'd just sort of mixed up, just to get all the highlights now. Wipe off any excess, paint off your brush. I'm going to continue to use the bigger brush for this because it's just a lot quicker. As you can see, the bits are starting to really sort of jump. Okay, yeah, so I've just mixed in a little bit more white into the paint I just mixed up a while back, and just going over again. You know, as you can see, there's quite a few different coats of colour I'll do. I think it sort of works the best that way, I've found anyway. This is quite this technique. It's quite sort of random. That's why I like to do it first, because I'm not too worried about going over sort of the edges. I'm not so confined. I can just work really quickly, sort of blending it out, and then I'll make it all look tight again when I paint sort of the bits, you know, that are leading onto it. But that's pretty much it for the skin tones. Obviously I'll follow the same procedures for the face. Like I say, I might add a little bit of red in there into the cheeks or whatever. So what I'll do now is I'll spray the red. I've highlighted some of the shaded bits, the darker bits that are in the shadows. And I'm just going to go and highlight sort of the skin tones now. The colour I've mixed up now is, like I say, more yellow again and a bit more white. And this is very sort of watered down now. It might take a few coats just to cover. But like I say, be careful not to keep going over the same area, otherwise it will start to pull the paint off. Like I say, just lightly pressing with the brush there, just blending it out, similar to, you know, you would do with a pencil. As I do this, I'm going to try and not speak with such a monotone voice, because Esther said that it's sounding well boring, so I'll try and keep it exciting for you. Obviously I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing as well, so it's not easy, but this is an instructional video. Yeah, after all, I'm not sort of I'm not here to entertain you. But yeah, so basically that's it. Keep bringing it in. As you can see, this coat now is quite yellow. And like I said before, I like to keep the undercoats sort of browny, sort of orangey, and then as you bring it lighter and lighter, add a bit more sort of, I like to use yellow ochre and titanium white. Oh, are you laughing? Put me off. Like I say, it's, how I'm doing it here, it does sort of kill the brushes, all the bristles, and you know, the paintbrush stops going to a point, but I find it's just a really cool way of just getting really sort of smooth skin tones.